Hey everyone, welcome to the Explainer. So, if you've ever opened up a spreadsheet and just felt a mild sense of panic at the sheer volume of chaotic information staring back at you, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to equip you with some absolute superpowers for taming that chaotic spreadsheet data. We are going straight to the core of mastering your info, focusing entirely on two essential techniques that will literally transform the way you work and save you hours of frustration. Let's start with a really simple question. Is your Excel data working for you, or is it working against you? I mean, we've all been there, right? Staring at this massive, disorganized wall of data. When your rows and columns are just a jumbled mess of names, numbers, and dates, it honestly feels like the data is actively fighting your attempts to understand it. It bogs you down, it causes inevitable errors, and frankly, it is incredibly frustrating when you just need to find one single piece of information quickly. As our source material perfectly states, working with large Excel data can be difficult if information is not organized. Honestly, unorganized information, it's kind of the ultimate workplace felon. It completely hides the insights you need and it just wastes your highly valuable time. But today, we're going to defeat that villain. We're going to take that raw, stubborn data and make it incredibly easy to navigate. All right, let's dive right into our very first superpower, and that is sorting. Now, at its core, sorting simply means arranging data in a specific order. I know it sounds incredibly basic, but trust me, it is deeply powerful. Sorting basically takes the random, messy reality of your raw data and instantly rearranges it into a logical, predictable sequence. It immediately puts you back in the driver's seat. You get to decide exactly how your information should flow. Excel actually gives you a few primary ways to tackle this. You can sort alphabetically from A to Z, or flip it in reverse from Z to A. Or maybe you're dealing with numbers or financials. You can easily go from smallest to largest or vice versa. Mastering these baseline sorts is absolutely the first step to organizing your information so much faster and really eliminating that initial data-induced panic. Okay, let's look at a concrete example. We've got a mini narrative cast of office characters here. It's just a simple list of employee names: Ram, Sita, Beena, and Akash. Now, right now, they're in a raw, messy, totally unorganized state. And think about it. If this list had 400 names instead of just 4, finding Akash would be a total headache. You'd be endlessly scrolling just to locate one person. But fixing this is unbelievably fast. First, you just select the data you want to organize. Second, navigate up to the Data tab on your ribbon. And third, click the Sort A to Z button. That's it. 1, 2, 3. It literally takes less than 2 seconds once you know exactly where to click, and it instantly brings perfect order to the chaos. And just like that, look at the immediate payoff. Akash is right at the top, followed by Beena, Ram, and Sita. You didn't have to manually cut, paste, or drag a single row. Excel did all the heavy lifting for you, instantly shifting the entire structure of your information into perfect alphabetical harmony. It really is that effortless. But what if your needs are a bit more complex than just standard alphabetical order? Well, that is exactly where we escalate things to custom sorting. You access this by going back to that same Data tab, but this time click the main Sort button. This is the precise tool you want to reach for when you need to generate more advanced, polished reports that require, multiple layers of organization just to make sense. So here's how custom sorting works in practice. We are setting up a 2-level sort here. For the very first level, we tell Excel to sort everyone by their department. Then for the second level, we sort by salary. Think about the logic behind this for a second. First, Excel groups all of the finance people together, then the HR people, and so on. Then, within that specific finance group, it orders everyone by how much they get paid. This completely transforms a flat, boring list into a highly structured and truly meaningful report. Now, it is absolutely vital to explicitly contrast sorting with our next major tool, which is filtering. Sorting, as we just saw, rearranges your data into a specific order. All the data is still there, it's just shuffled into a new layout. Filtering, though, it is fundamentally different. It shows only what you need, completely hiding the rest from view. Definitely remember this critical difference. Sorting moves things around, filtering isolates exactly what matters. So, if sorting is about finding harmony in the chaos, filtering is really about turning down the volume of the noise so you can hear a single, clear signal. It isolates what matters, showing only the information you need while keeping the rest of it completely out of sight. I'm telling you, it is an absolute game changer when you're dealing with massive, overwhelming datasets. And getting started with filtering is just as effortless as sorting. Step 1, select your table. Step 2, head right back to that trusty Data tab. And Step 3, click the Filter button. When you do this, you're going to see these tiny little drop-down arrows magically appear at the top of every single column in your table. You can basically consider those arrows your brand new control panel. All right, let's bring back our cast of characters to see this in action. This time, we've got a slightly larger data set. We don't just have their names, we now see their respective departments too. We have Ram in finance, Sita in HR, Hari also in finance, and Bina in IT. The data is suddenly a little bit richer, and yeah, a bit more complex. Now, imagine you're a manager and you only want to see the finance team right now. You honestly couldn't care less about HR or IT at this very moment. What you do is click that filter drop-down arrow at the top of the department column, uncheck everything else, and specifically select finance. You are intentionally hunting for just that one specific department among all the surrounding noise. And notice the immediate visual result here. Excel instantly hides everyone else. Now, Sita and Bina aren't deleted, don't worry. They're just tucked safely out of view so they don't distract you. Your screen now shows only the finance records, Ram and Hari. You've successfully isolated your exact target without permanently altering the document in any way. Let's see how this builds into something even more robust, which is multiple filters. Look, filtering one single column is great, but the real magic happens when you start stacking filters on top of each other. This is exactly how you achieve absolute pinpoint precision when you are trying to navigate through those massive, endlessly scrolling corporate spreadsheets. So let's level up the scenario. Now we have department, and we've added a completely new column called status, telling us if an employee is active or inactive. If your company has, say, thousands of employees, finding a specific subset of people becomes a massive headache. You really need a way to narrow things down significantly. To cut through that noise, we apply two specific conditions together. First, we set the department filter to equal finance. Then, without clearing that first filter, we go right over to the status column and set that filter to active. By stacking these conditions, you force Excel to display only perfectly matching records, meaning people who are both in finance and currently active. Everyone else simply vanishes. Okay, let's quickly recap the amazing new toolkit you have just acquired. You now know how to sort A to Z to organize a quick list. You know how to apply filters to instantly hide irrelevant noise. You understand how to stack multiple filters for absolute, pinpoint accuracy. And you know how to use custom sorting to generate professional multi-level reports. These are true superpowers for taming literally any dataset. And hey, the learning definitely doesn't stop here. According to our source material, once you can successfully sort and filter, learning how to bulk update your data is the very next critical step. So keep an eye out for our upcoming explainer on Find and Replace to add yet another absolutely essential tool to your growing arsenal. I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know how to cut through all the distracting noise, are you ready to truly master your data? The tools are sitting right there in your Data tab, just waiting to be used. So don't let disorganized information dictate your workday. Go take control of your spreadsheets today. And
Thanks for listening, dropping by, getting high on my vibe.